Hello, everybody. Happy 2024. You are now in the cool room. Welcome to the Black Butterfly Podcast, where we discuss Black topics, Black issues, interview Black guests that are special to the culture. I like to introduce myself. My name is Maru.
Hi guys, welcome to the Cooking Room. Welcome to Black Butterfly. I am Candace, your host.
And we have a special guest I would like to introduce. I am so excited for this person because she reached out to us a couple weeks ago and said, "Hey, I'd like to do your podcast." And so, before we, I'll let me just run down the accolades real quick. This is so crazy. So, hold on. Let me get the right one. Hold on, let me get the right one because she sent me one, but I found one too. So she was raised in the Brightwood neighborhood in Indianapolis, Indiana, graduated from Perry Meridian High School in 1990. This woman, and I want to give her flowers, was a standout sprinter for Indiana State from 1991 1994. She's obviously talk about her stature, but so these are some of the things that she's won. Her name is Holli Hyche, and she is one of just 3 athletes ever, male or female, to have won all 4 NCAA sprint titles in the same year, accomplishing the feat in 1993. She was inducted into the Drake Relays Hall of Fame in April 1997. In 1999, and was inducted into the Missouri Valley Conference Hall of Fame in August of 1999. She is a 10-time NCAA All-American. This is so crazy. Listen to all this stuff. NCAA Women's Indoor Track Athlete of the Year in 1994, a 2-time Honda Award track and field recipient in the years 1993 and 1994, a 14-time Gateway Conference Missouri Valley Conference champion, a 6-time Missouri Valley Conference outdoor champion, 100 meters and 200 meters in the years 1992, 1993, and 1994. 6-time Missouri Valley Conference indoor champion, 55 meters, 200 meters in years 93 and 94, and the 200 meters, and in the 4x100 meter relay in 1992. She is also, I lost track. So, 2-time Gateway Conference champion, 1992, a Missouri Valley Conference indoor track most valuable player, 1993 and 1994. I didn't know they gave MVP for track and field, but let me carry on. Missouri Valley Conference outdoor track most valuable player in 1992, 1993, and 1994. A 2-time All-Missouri Valley Conference indoor champion, 1993 and 1994. A 2-time All-Missouri Valley Conference outdoor champion. So she's doing it both indoor and outdoor, so it don't even matter. 1993, 1994. She's a beast. All Gateway Conference 1992. A 2-time Olympic trials participant in 1992 and 1996. So she saw the dream team. Hopefully we're gonna get into that because I'm a Georgia fan, obviously. So I'm excited. As you see, Missouri Valley Conference and Indiana State University record holder in 5 events: 55 meters, 60 meters, 100 meters, 200 meters, and the 400 meters. A 7-time national champion indoor for 55 meters, 200 meters, and in 1993 and year 1994. Outdoors 100 meters, 200 meters in 1993, and outdoors for 100 meters in 1994. Obviously mentioned Drake Relays Hall of Fame in 1993, inducted into the Missouri Valley Conference Hall of Fame in 1999, inducted into the Hall of Fame which was in September, and then just this past September, you was inducted into the Hall of Fame also. So as you see, this person is very, very special, and so I would be remiss to not mention all that. So we would like to introduce Holli Hyche to the show. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Holli, will you go ahead and just introduce yourself to our viewers? Thank you again, Amaru, for giving the viewers all of her accolades. We really appreciate that. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and you have some comments, and then we'll get started.
Like you said, my name is Holli Hyche. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. I grew up on the east side of Indianapolis in the Brightwood area. Grew up here, and I'm still here. Living a dream.
Okay, well, thank you again. We're excited to have you. We typically There's some guests that have some congratulations for you. They say long list of greatness. So that was from Jasmine. We have
That's
Pamela
my daughter.
Weber. She says, awesome. Go ahead, Holly. So these look like a lot of your friends and family. So thanks, guys, for joining us.
Absolutely. That is cool. So we would go ahead, Candace. Go ahead.
Oh, I'll say we typically start off with our scripture of the day. And then once we do that, we'll move into our questions for you. And again, we're super excited. Congratulations on all of your accolades and all of your accomplishments.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So I'll start with scripture today. And it is Joshua 1:9. Be strong and have courage. Be not afraid, neither dismayed, for the Lord God is with you. So obviously, I would like to ask what was the reasoning behind choosing this, Candace, and what does it mean to you and the scripture mean to you and Holly?
All right. So after reading about Holly and some of the things that she accomplished and some of the things that she went through, I thought it would be fitting to choose this scripture because obviously, in order to conquer all of those obstacles that she did, she had to be strong and have courage. So that's essentially what it means to me.
So Holly, does this scripture mean anything to you when you hear or read it?
Of course. I grew up in the church, so a lot of these scriptures I already know anyway. So, but it's true. God is always with you, good, bad, indifferent. As long as you have the faith in him, he's got your back 100%.
All right. Sounds good to me. Okay, so thank you. This is the next question for you. I'm like super excited. I was pleased when Amaru said, hey, we have a Hall of Famer that wants to come onto the show. And I was like, oh, that's exciting. I was like, our second podcast of the year. That's good. So again, guys, introducing Holly to you, 2023 Hall of Fame inductee. So just tell us a little bit about what your inductee was. Was it in September of last year?
I actually got inducted into one in August and then the one in September. The one in September I got inducted to with Ronaldo Nehemiah, Joetta Clark Smith, Wyoming Tyus, a lot of the greats that I looked up to when I was actually start running. I got inducted with all of them.
Okay. All right. You will have to tell us a lot more about those people later because some of those names we're not familiar with, but tell us about it. So my next question for you is, where were you born? Where did you originate from? What state and city?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay. Indianapolis, Indiana. And what neighborhood were you raised in?
I was raised in the Brightwood area.
Okay. And how was that? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I was cool. My parents told me that they was going to keep me in sports because of the neighborhood. They didn't want me to get involved with the drugs and street gangs and all that. So they just kept me busy. I played outside, raced up and down the street with the boys. And that's probably how I started getting fast because I used to race up and down the street with them all the time.
Were you racing with them or were they chasing you? It's a difference.
No, I was racing with them. Yeah. And I could beat everybody except for one. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. My next question is, I know oftentimes when we talk about like culture and family and things like that, would you say you had a great relationship with your family, or tell me about your relationship with your parents?
I came from, like I said, a very religious family. I'm very, very family oriented. A lot of my people that's pulling up on the live is my parents' cousins. I mean, not my parents, but my cousins and stuff like that. But as far as my relationship with my parents, we were very close. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be put in the situation that I am. I will never, ever take nothing for granted. They saved me from when I was a baby. My biological mom had me. She was on drugs, crack, cocaine, whatever the case may be. She had me, threw me in a dumpster, and somebody came and rescued me, took me to the hospital. I was 3 pounds when I was born. I had drugs and stuff in my system. And my mom had told my dad that she wanted a girl. So once I got older,
your adopted parents or your bio parents?
My adopted parents. I never met my bios. There's no record of them nowhere. So,
Wow.
as far as I'm concerned, they are my bio because that's all I know.
Right,
So, my mom told my dad she wanted a girl, and so once I got healthy enough to go get out the hospital, I went to the CPS, and they went, and it was my brother told me it was between me and another girl and another baby, and my mother said she wanted me, so the rest is history. So we was always really tight. You know, I give them much respect. May they rest in peace. So they're always there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is a very interesting story because you often hear. I actually used to work when I was working on my master's degree. I actually worked for DCS, and oftentimes you hear about stories where children are taken away from families and they never find a home.
Right.
I'm sorry, it blinked out. So yeah, oftentimes you found out that kids are with DCS and they age out of the system and they never find a home that they can go to. So it is astonishing when you hear a person say that there is someone who actually wanted me and did take me, and I am not a victim, but I am a survivor. And I do have to ask you a question. Do you I know like it's innate sometime after people find out that they were adopted that they seek out a relationship with their bio parents. Did you ever have a desire to do that?
Yeah, once I got older, I actually didn't find out I was adopted till I was 12. Some so-called friends in the neighborhood that I grew up in were teasing me. Guess they found out, and I got teased. I ran in the house, told my mother what was going on because she was wondering why I was crying. So I told them kids outside is talking about me, talking about I was adopted. And from then I kind of, I don't know, I guess I had anger in me, and it was a long time. I was probably almost in my 20s before I could actually get rid of some of that anger. But I did go try to search for them, but there's no record of them because when they took me to the hospital, my name was Jane Doe, so I didn't even have a name when I went to the hospital.
That's stuff that you only see on TV. Like I don't think you never really hear about stuff like that, or you see it on TV, or you hear it, but you never talk to or relate to anyone who that has actually happened to. So, do you know your actual birthday? Or did they give
I
you
mean,
a
that's my birthday that I have on my birth certificate is September 6th, but start September 1st, I start celebrating because I don't know.
I mean, that's an honest question. No, seriously, that really is.
I know that's right. It's gonna be one of these days.
Yeah. Because you don't know.
Right.
I know what's up. I ain't mad at you for that one.
Yes.
That is that. I ain't mad at you for that. It's gonna be one. We're gonna be celebrating till I find right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So would you say that when the kids started kind of like teasing you from like your past or whatever, do you think that even though you were angry, do you feel like you drew some kind of strength from that and it kind of pushed you plus your parents in the direction that you went in as far as the rest of your life?
Yes. Well, after all that happened, my parents always told me, don't never let nobody steal your joy. You know, I'm put in this situation for a reason. We came and rescued you, and I will never leave you. We have your back during everything. So I mean, it still hurt because I was 12 years old. It still hurt, and as I grew older, I came to realize that there's no need to be mad. This is more of a blessing that you got saved, because I know telling where I would be if they had not came and got me.
That's wonderful, and I wish I could have met them. I know you said that they have gone on to be with the Lord, but thank God for them, because it's not a lot of people who are willing to take on that type of responsibility. And you do have some questions. Eric just put up there. He said, "Good question, Candace." So I thank you, Eric.
and as Jasmine, I'm sure Jasmine's related to you.
That's my daughter.
Yeah, that's your daughter. Hi, Jasmine. But and like she said, walking testimony, and so. Like I was when I learned of your story, and I was watching the other podcast of Greg, and shout out to Greg for this interview. But I was like, wow, and then what's interesting is that you know, when we think of stories like this, we think of these really famous people like that we can't touch and see. You're literally in Indianapolis right now.
Yeah.
And so that is why like this means so much to me, because it's funny. My daughter was hearing me talking to you earlier.
Right.
And so when you got back on this time, she wanted to see who you were. And I'm like, that's why it means a lot, because for our kids to see, you don't have, like, yes, it's great to be famous and all that, but you have walking testimonies like yourself that just doing everyday things, and people wouldn't even know. Like, obviously your family know because they know about you, people that went to school with you, but
Right.
people like us that's from Gary, I was like, wow, like she did all this. I'm like, 3 people ever. Like, think about that, male or female. That my heart dropped. I'm like, oh my God, like this is a goat. Like, forget all they talk about goats and all that stuff. Greatest of all time. That's you. So we want to give you your flowers. Absolutely. This interview was well warranted. So absolutely. So give her as much flowers as you can. And while she's still here, because a lot of times what our culture likes to do is give flowers after people that have been dead and gone.
Yeah.
So no, we don't live in that space. So
Right.
I'm sorry, I digress. Go ahead.
Or we typically, we don't really like give like real positive things enough coverage. It's more so the culture focuses on like more negative things. But I think that people who are a testimony and who have done great things should be highlighted more. So my next question to you is, what high school did you attend?
I went to Parameridian High School. It's on the south side of Indianapolis.
Okay.
We got bused out there from Brightwood.
Okay. So at the time that you went, what year did you start high school?
86.
Okay, so in 86, now, I mean, 86, 96, 95, 92, like how, like culturally, how was it?
It's better than it is now. Man.
Okay.
These kids now are different. So, I mean, it was different. It's totally different. We got together and, had fun, and it wasn't no drama, wasn't no shooting and fighting. And if you didn't, you still friends again. So, I mean, it's totally different now.
Is Perry Meridian, is it still open?
Yeah, it's still open.
Okay. Have you went back and spoken with the kids, the youth that are there now, and shared your story? And
no,
if not, would you be opposed to do it? Would you be open to doing that?
Oh yeah, I'm open to talking to whoever right now. Like I told you yesterday, I want to eventually do this as a profession, just going around speaking to people, kids, mothers, fathers, whoever it may be.
That's what's up.
And someone will be encouraged by your testimony and also your story.
Yes.
And who inspired you while growing up or while you were in high school?
Again, I would have to say my parents, because I felt like kind of a loner just by saying I was adopted when all my friends had biological family, and I'm just like, I have no clue. But so I kind of sheltered myself, per se, kind of stayed in the back burner. I have friends, but it is what it is. I really didn't trust people. So I kind of isolated myself from everybody. But I just, like I said, I didn't start running track till I was in 9th grade. I was actually going out for softball. And then some of my buddies from Brightwood, Lois and Angie, if y'all don't hear, hello. They talked me into coming out for track, and I was like, I don't want to do all that running.
Yeah.
But I ended up going, and it paid off. So.
Okay. So I heard you say, because the next question was who inspired you to run track, and you said Lois, and who else was it?
Angie.
Okay, Lois and Angie. You said they're your sisters?
No, they were sisters.
Okay. Do you still have a relationship with them? Do you see them? Do you speak with them?
I speak to them on Facebook. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever see the children? Because, children can be mean sometimes. The children who actually told you that you were adopted, have you ran into them or do you see them?
Yeah, I see them. They actually, some of them are my Facebook friends.
Okay. Have they apologized?
Yeah, they did apologize.
Yeah, because, when you...
After we got older.
Yes. when you do wrong, you have to right your wrongs. I don't care if it's 15 years later, 20 years later, because we oftentimes people say things to you, but you never know how they're going to affect someone. So we just have to be mindful what it
Yeah,
is that we're saying.
pull up on them. We was gonna pull up on them anyway. Like,
The podcast.
what year was that? You said you found out you was adopted. Was it like
When she was 12.
I was 12.
Middle school. So I just want to pull it up. I'm like, hey, remember what you said back in, you know what I'm saying? Like, who was this black dude? I just have a picture of a shirt with your face on it. Like, remember what you told her?
You know what?
So we pulling up on them.
No, but I think stories like this is I can't emphasize it enough, because, you know, like, but a lot of, I shared this earlier, like, a lot of us when we grew up in the hood, like, we looked up to athletes, right? Some of us didn't have fathers in the home, or, you know, mothers in the home, right? So we single parents, and so, you know, that position was a lot of void in the home. Not in your case, right? Because you had foster parents. But for a lot of us, that's who we looked up to.
She didn't have foster parents. She had parents.
I mean, well, technically, but I'm just saying, you still had you had the
adoptive parents, but they were her parents
in your role, right? So they adopted you. So, like, you were literally, like, because I have a stepfather, I call him dad. So I get the roles they play, but some people who don't have that, and so they lean heavily on sports, right? And then so to hear a story like yourself, to come from some of the circumstances that led to, you know, you being placed, you know, being with them, and then them grooming you, and then you being inspired to do some of the things you've done, is spectacular. Like, when you see stuff that says ever, that means in the history of mankind, so it's been 3 people who've done this. Think of that. Like, I don't think that's registering. Like you can say, like, with basketball, right? You can say Michael Jordan, he has 6 rings. He's probably, what is it, the 3rd person ever who has the many rings, right? Or you can say LeBron, he's the only person in the history of the sport to score all these points. You're the 3rd person ever, they said male or female, to accomplish what you did. That is amazing. So for you to hit that mark speaks to the perseverance, obviously speaks to your parents, because they inspired you, and just the support system you have around you. So that I love that. I love hearing stuff like this.
Yeah. And I don't want to gloss over your parents, because I know the podcast is about you and about your story, but I want to know, like, I know you said that they were Christian and they were, you know, religious people, but can you tell me, like, you know, culturally, like, the morals and their values, and, you know, their work ethic, because that's important. All of that plays a role into shaping a child into what they're going to be as they move forward through life.
Right. I mean, they kept me grounded. They supported me, whatever I wanted to do as far as sports is concerned. Actually, they came to every single last one of my track meets from high school all the way to college, except for one, because one of my brothers had got married. But other than that, they traveled. Wherever I went, they was there. You know, so that motivated me a whole lot to, you know, just keep it going and give it to all my energy to them, if that makes sense, because I didn't have to be there. I didn't have to be in this situation. So it motivated me to even work even harder at track practice, in school, whatever, because of them, you know. I found out I was dyslexic in my 10th grade of high school. So I ended up got tutored and had to get tested first, of course. Found out I was dyslexic, so I had to get tutors. I had to go outside of the class to take my test so the reader could read my test to me, because I could read it, but I wouldn't comprehend what I'm saying. So if the reader say something to me, then I'll understand what what the questions are. So that was another obstacle I had to overcome in high school all the way to college. I had tutors all the way through college too. So
can you repeat that? Because this is why, because, and I have this conversation with my daughter, and some of my family members of my family, that just because you have a tutor doesn't mean you're dumb. Like, that's what they're there to do. They're there to teach you, right? So can you repeat that again?
I mean, I thought that too. I was like, that's embarrassing. You got to go all the way outside the class to take a test. I mean, it is embarrassing, but that's what they're there to do. Like you said, that's what they're there to do, is to help you and to achieve your. Because I would study for my tests all the time. My parents ask me the questions. I'll get everything right at home. As soon as I get to the test, I forget everything and get an F. I'm like, well, what happened? So that's when they eventually got me tested, and that's what the problem was.
I tell my daughter that all the time, like, because it's the same thing. Like, and it's funny. She just had a report card, kind of the same thing. The teacher put on the report card. She knows the material. It's just when you take the test, and that's how I used to be. Just get anxious, right? So my mother used to be like, when you take a test, it's just to review your homework to see if you did your homework. So that will calm me down a little bit. So she's here. So that's why I'm saying repeat that, because I guess it's coming from dad. Oh, dad, you're just dad. But for someone like yourself, who she literally want to walk around to see who you are, right? Yeah. So that's why I wanted to repeat that. But another thing too, like when I was in college, one of the things.
Now, real quick, I have a follow-up question.
Go ahead.
So I know you said that going back to where you said they found you in the dumpster, a lot of times when you have like something that's cognitively happening within the brain, it could be based off of like, if people drink, the babies come out with fetal alcohol syndrome. If there's like crack involved or drugs involved, that affects the brain as well. Smoking cigarettes affect the brain. So it wasn't nothing that you did per se, but it could have just been what was happening in, during your bio mom's pregnancy. In addition to that, I heard you say that sometimes it's embarrassing to be kind of pulled out the classroom to get what you need. But as long as the teachers are there, or the mentors or the tutors to give you exactly what you need, that's all that matters, because you can look back. Even I went to school with some kids who were like accelerated kids. They were like the top of the top of the top. Right. And we talk, you never want to talk about where people are yet in life or where they're at this moment. But if we talk about kids who excelled in everything that they did, does not basically mean that they're going to be successful moving forward after high school. So get whatever it is that you need. I tell kids all the time, get what you need. Kids are going to be mean. Kids are going to tease. But at the end, if you conquer everything and you get what you need out of it, then that's all that matters. All and right. Then I just want to say, I know you said you had some anger up until you were 20 years old. Were there outlets to talk to people about anger? Did you seek out therapy at the time? Did you have a support group? Or you just kind of bottled that all up? And a lot of that may have been your push on the track. Not saying it was good, because sometimes we have to learn how to like regulate our emotions, how to communicate effectively, like what's happening internally with us. And if we can't, we kind of focus that aggression in other areas. And for you, it happens to be sports. And so not saying it was a good thing the way you felt, but it might have just been that push to help you keep going.
No, I didn't. I kept everything bottled in. I could have talked to my parents, but I just put on I wouldn't say a front, but I was happy, but I wasn't happy, if that makes sense. I just didn't want to worry nobody about what I was going through. So I just kept everything in. I mean, even now as a grown-up and being married, I still don't voice how I feel at times, because
Holly, that's being passive aggressive. That's not healthy.
Well, I mean,
I'm saying that's being passive aggressive, and that is so unhealthy. You cannot continue living in that space. It's okay to healthy communication is always good.
I talk, or I write stuff down. I like to write. I like to draw. I do like poetry. I do all.
But you just said you really don't. You internalize that. So don't internalize it. You know that old saying, like when we were growing up, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Talk about it. You have some questions here. One of Eric said you had great parents, and it sounds like, and he said I think it's more appreciated now the way your parents treated you and how they brought you up. He also said that he was bullied in school. He was one of the smart kids in our school too. One of the really smart. Well, he's an adult now, but he was one of the smart kids. So he said he was bullied, but now he's thankful for who he is. And so oftentimes we just don't know what life looks like, after we get out of school, and we don't know what it looks like for people we went to school with. But again, if it's something that you need, just strive for it. But I have a question, and I'll let Maru, he had a question for you. What I will say is, what would you say to children who are currently struggling with like reading and math and comprehension, and they're also struggling with the embarrassment of asking for help, because oftentimes kids won't ask for help. They'll sit in the back of the classroom, they'll shy away because they feel like they can't read fluently, or they are intimidated by other kids that may be smarter. What would you say to those kids that are facing those same challenges?
I would tell them to turn that negative energy into something positive. Like you said, the kids are going to be kids. They're going to tease. They're going to do whatever. But main thing is you got to focus on you and what you want to do in life. You be 9, 10 years old and you say you want to be a doctor, but you have this learning disability that's kind of stopping you from wanting to be that. But you just have to, keep motivating yourself, self-motivation, stay focused on what you want to do. Block people out, because I'm very good at that. I can block people out real easy, and just stay focused on what I need to focus on. So that's what they need to do. Ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help.
Absolutely.
Some of the smartest people ask for help, and that's how they got to be as smart as they are.
Yes.
Guess what, Holly? I asked for help. I didn't used to, but I do now. I use my voice to ask for help. Holly, I'm sorry, Amari. One last thing. You have a question. People are texting me questions for you. I don't know. They must be on YouTube. This is from Crystal. She wants to know, how did you find out you were how did you find out you were dyslexic, and why did it take them so long to diagnose you with dyslexia?
Because during middle school, my grades were fine. My freshman year of high school, my grades were so. And then, like I said, I was studying all my tests. And then when I got to school, I wouldn't pass the test, or I'd get a D or whatever in it. And it caught my parents' eye. So my mother was like, we need to get you tested and see what's really going on. So are you studying the wrong thing? And then you get to the test, and the test is something totally different that you didn't study for, or what's going on. So I got tested. They got me tested, and that's what it was. I hated math. I used to write 5s as S's. I used to write 4s as H's. So I was all messed up, but I'm cool now. Sometimes I still have my moments, but it's a lot better now.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, Amara, give it back to you.
No, because I didn't want to add anything, but I was going to also share the video. So for people, because I have video footage of her putting in work, right? And so I'm going to share this with everyone real quick. It's 3 videos, but it's like they probably 5 minutes in total length here. So this is on YouTube. So this is pretty cool. So this is on YouTube. You can just
recordings just got better.
How
it's Dana from Straight Hair. I'm so excited to announce,
because we live in a YouTube era now. So people who don't think this actually happened, this is her right here. So I'm sitting here watching this. I'm like, that's crazy.
That was downtown Indianapolis at the Hoosier Dome when it was open.
So what's going through your mind as you watch these videos now? Obviously, it's been years later. What would you tell the younger version of yourself now as you would?
Always turn, like I said, always turn whatever negativity you got going on in your life, turning it to something positive. Put all that energy into something else. Not, don't go out fighting and doing all that. Turn it into something.
Hyche is coming on, but it's Tevin. It's Hyche, and Hyche wins it right at the line.
Most of all, I'm blessed just to be put into the situation that I was able to be put in. I never took anything, none of my accomplishments for granted, because as easy as it came, it can be taken away from me. So even with my injuries, it made me even push even harder to work to get back healthy and get back on the track. Well, I sat out my first year, but it let me still be able to get a scholarship or whatever, full ride. It helped me as far as being a student athlete, to get tutoring and help with all the things that I needed to be able to compete my sophomore year. Wonderful coaches. I wouldn't have traded them for the world. I have I had chances to go to a lot of different colleges when I was coming out of high school, but their main goal was academics, and that's what stuck out for me, because a lot of the coaches were just focused on my track career. They wasn't saying too much about academics. So that was the main thing that stuck out to me when I went to visit Indiana State.
She's smoking them. Look at her.
Just knowing that my parents were in the stands, especially when we competed here at the national indoor meet. A lot of my family was in the stands, so that really felt good coming across the finish line and hearing them yelling or whatever. So that really felt good. But the main part is my parents were at every single meet, and they never missed none of my national track meets.
That's amazing.
Right here. I like this one too.
Holli will defend her 200M title in tonight's finals at 7:40. Of course, we'll have highlights at 11. Right now, our Ken Tomash has more on the former Herrick Meridian star.
We've had a few good athletes at Indiana State, but Holli is by far the best we've had. You know, she doesn't look very imposing. She's not a big, muscular woman by any means.
Oh, sleep?
No, this, I don't know. I mean, I've been lifting since summer, and I mean, I haven't gotten any bigger. I've got a lot stronger, but I haven't gotten any bigger.
But when it comes to sprinting, ISU's Holli Hyche is as big as they come. The woman to beat at this weekend's NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships. They call this place the Hoosier Dome. Holli's a Hoosier. She's from Indianapolis. Indianapolis. She's won 4 NCAA championships. Last year on this track, she won the 55 meters and the 200 meters. So if anybody wants those titles, they're going to have to come into Holli's house and take them.
It really gives me a lot of motivation to come out and run, because I'm in front of the hometown crowd. And I know my parents and a lot of my family members will be here watching me and supporting me. It really hypes me up because I'm trying to go for the American record.
Are you ever surprised by anything you're able to do?
Yeah. It surprised me a lot.
Holli is by far the best we've had. Best we've had. Best we've had.
I could go out and get it.
Best we've had.
And knowing that people's aiming for me and trying to beat me, I mean, it gives me a lot of motivation to really go out and, I mean, just explode.
There's no doubt you need a killer instinct. Killer instinct.
Give it your all.
Killer instinct.
Better call the bomb squad and catch Holli at the Hoosier Dome this weekend, if you can. Ken Tomash, 6 Sports.
That's what's up. And
That's amazing.
So the
That
reason
is
I want to
amazing.
see, it just hit me. We're in Black History Month, right? You are Black History. You
Hey,
know
babe.
that?
That's my wife right there.
So we had a couple questions. Your daughter says that hearing you talk, your younger self, she said it sounds exactly like her. And
Yeah.
then we had Eric, you know what, Eric and your daughter, we got to give them a gift because they just like the super viewers for today. They got all the questions. He wants to know, how tall are you?
6'7". No, I'm just playing.
I'm about to say, whoa.
I'm 5'5".
Oh, you okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody say I look taller on TV, but no, I'm not that tall.
You do look taller on TV. Okay, so 5'5".
Yeah.
It's astonishing. I keep hearing them talk about Indiana State, right? Is that where you ISU? Okay, so I was going to ask you, did you pursue a higher education? You did. What made you choose Indiana State as the school to go to?
Because that was the best program for student athletes that were dyslexic. I got recruited from.
I didn't know that.
Okay. Yeah. I got recruited from Ohio State, Purdue, IU, Alabama A&M, a lot of schools, but Indiana State. Well, I did want to stay close to home because I was the baby of the family and I was the daddy's girl. On top of that, but everybody, like I said, everybody focused on my track career. And my parents was like, you can't run track forever. You got to have your academics first. Okay. So we visited Indiana State. I think my Coach Garland and Coach McNichols, I think Coach Garland's on here now, but they ended up talking to my parents and wanted me to come down for a visit. We went down there for a visit, and their main goal was my academics as well. My mom was like, "Is she gonna have a tutor?" It was like, "Yeah, we got her tutor. We have athletic study hall. You got to go. I think we had to go 30 hours a week or something like that.
On top of your classes and running track and track practice.
Yep.
That's dedication.
Yeah, we have to go.
Anybody who has been to college, they know that that's dedication.
Yeah. So after track practice, we'll go eat, and then we'll just go straight to the study hall for a couple hours or whatever. So,
if you could go back and change, go back in time and change the clock, is there anything that you would have done differently?
No. I think this is the way my life was designed. I think this is how God intended my life to go. So I wouldn't change anything.
Okay, Nikki G, is that who family member is that? Yours?
No, I don't know who that is.
My sister-in-law.
I knew it was the co-host. I'm like, let me make sure because she always gets on here. Hi, Nikki.
From Milwaukee, right up here. That's what I'm saying. This story again. So people watch you from all over. So that's why it's important to tell these stories. Like I said before, you Black history. Do you ever realize that? Like, so so you're Black excellence. So we want to, obviously present this to the masses, and so that's why I'm so excited. I think about your thought process, right? And so as you were winding down in your career, and I did see that you ran professionally. Can you talk more about that process and what was it a good experience, bad experience?
Yeah, after I left Indiana State, I signed a contract with Adidas and ran for them professionally for about 3 or 4 years. Ran overseas, went everywhere. I went to Paris, Jamaica, Brazil. I've been everywhere. The only place I didn't go and I didn't want to go was China and Japan because those trips was too long. So,
were you scared of the plane ride or just the trips?
The plane ride, I wasn't scared of planes. I think going to Japan is like 20 some hours. I didn't want to be on a plane that long and then have to get down and run. And then I wasn't doing all that. So, but, in Switzerland. Thank you, Pam. So yeah, I've been a lot of places.
How was it running in Switzerland?
I was nice. I loved it. It's the track community overseas is way different than it is here. Like,
really? Can you expound on that and tell us?
Over there, it's like you going to the Super Bowl in track. That's how it is over there. But we get much love over there than we get over here in the U.S.
We had a question for you. He hasn't popped it up yet. When you're in high school running track, I know oftentimes when we were in high school, they had like sectionals, and sometimes the Gary schools would play schools in Indianapolis. Did you ever have the opportunity to compete against any of the Gary high schools when you were running track?
Yeah, I ran against Gary Roosevelt, Chandra Goodman.
Shout out, Gina! Shout out!
How does that? Even though we didn't go to Roosevelt, right. We still shout them out. That's the home.
We still shout them out, right?
Yeah, I ran against Chandra.
How was it?
We raced against each other my sophomore year. I beat her my sophomore year in the 100 and 200. I got injured.
Of course. Right.
I got injured in my junior year. And then my senior year, I came back. I won the 100 against her. And then I won the 400. And then I came second in the 200 behind her.
Now, what year was that?
90.
Okay, Sandra from Roosevelt, please contact us so we can hear your side of the story. We want you to come on. If any of her family members are on here, please contact her and let her know.
Nah, she was cool though. She was cool. We didn't really have no bad beef or nothing. She was real cool.
Do you coach, or are you looking to coach?
I do. I used to do coaching, but like I said, these kids is different. The parents is different. So if I do anything, it'll be like personal coaching. So I just do one-on-one and stuff like that. But yeah.
Kayla, you got a coach.
I guess I'm sorry, guys. We froze for a little bit. Can you repeat it? He asked, did you do any coaching? I know you said the kids are a little different now. However, they need some hugs and love and a little mentorship.
Yes, they are different, but it's not even the kids, it's the parents. You know, like I was coaching at Perry Meridian some years ago, And one of the fastest girl on there, the 400 runner, she come to practice every day. She was ranked like 4th going into state, but she didn't ever want to come to practice. So I told her, I said, if you want to practice, then don't expect to run in the track meet. So I sent her home. About 30 minutes later, here come her mother and father. You know, y'all supposed to have my back. I'm trying to better your child, but y'all don't want it. So it is what it is. So that's why
I'd be like, you see those Hall of Fame things on the wall? don't come
I
over
mean,
with that
they knew who I was, but so that's why I just do one-on-one training now.
Often, you do one-on-one. That's still good.
Yeah,
Oftentimes people don't see the value. Like my father and my mother always said, and it's so funny. I couldn't understand when I was a kid what they were saying. People just want to go from the basement to the top floor, but you know it's levels. You just can't jump from the basement all the way to the top floor. It got to be some kind of like levels in between. There's some stairs, a process to get there. But the way that the kids are now, I call them the microwave generation. They just want to push a button and think everything is going to come to them. But there has to be some kind of work somewhere. So you got to.
I'm gonna put this out here. I know I'm gonna lose, but we need to go and get a track meet together because I went on to beat my nephews a couple like last year. They was 7.
It's really serious. I'm not getting in that because I know
I'm just saying we're gonna have to put something together. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to play cans or something because I'm with this stuff.
I'm not racing. It's over. I done had back surgery and everything.
So that was gonna be my question. So you talked about the injuries. What type of injuries did you have? Because I'm obviously part of like hamstrings and.
Well, when I was in high school, I pulled my quad muscle because my doctor said I was growing too fast and my muscles weren't growing with me as fast as I was running. So I pulled my quad muscle. And then my junior year of college, I tore my hamstring at the IU Invitationals. Yeah, I was like running the 60 and probably about 30 meters down the track. It just popped. Yeah, I fell straight down to the track. I was on crutches probably for 2-3 months. Yeah, so I was down for a minute. So, and then I was lifting with the guys. So that's part of my back surgery thing. I was squatting probably like 325, 350, and I was 120 pounds. Yeah, so, and my doctor was like, it's going to catch up with you when you get older. And it did. It did.
That's cool. So
you definitely are a walking testimony. I will say that.
Yeah, my question to you is this then. So like what would you, because obviously we have, obviously we got kids that they're in sports now. You said that you initially went for softball. So when you were in high school or college, I'm assuming it was, but just want to ask, was track and field just your sole sport that you just locked in on, or would you still dabble in other sports like cross country or softball or something?
No, once I got started in track, that was it.
Yeah. You tell him you were loyal to your craft.
Yeah. And see, I started bowling. They got me into bowling when I was 12, so they kept me busy from 12 on up. Yeah, so.
Our next question for you is, we see that you won a lot of awards. You were competing on like national levels. Can you tell us what award meant the most to you and why?
I would probably have to say my nationals in '93 in Louisiana. It was always me and the LSU girl running. Cheryl Taplin, that's the one of the girls in the video that had the white uniform on. Well, I was getting ready for warming up for my finals in the 100 and when we was in Louisiana. And I go back to my bag to put my spikes on and my spikes were gone. And I have a ritual when I get up in the morning at the hotel. I do everything, make sure everything's in my bag. I had my spikes. I had everything in my bag. My tennis shoes, because I usually wore flip-flops to the track. So I go about to put my spikes on. My spikes weren't in my bag. I'm like, Coach, where's my spikes? He said, wasn't they in your bag? I was like, yeah, they're gone. He thought I was kidding. I was like, my spikes are gone. So what am I going to do? we got to run this race. And I was like, I guess I'm just gonna have to run barefoot. Because I'm determined to beat her. Because she was already talking crazy. So
Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna have to run barefoot. But long story short, I ended up borrowing some shoes from the girl from University of Illinois, and I still won.
Well, congrats.
So look at that. So look, you see how she tried to throw it in there. She was like, long story, I was gonna race up barefoot. I went on, got up out the way. I got up out of there with somebody else's shoes. Think about that. But that just shows how great you are, because you have some person from Louisiana, another section of the country, doing something crazy, right? And that's what your daughter said, the real beef. But that's like, you still went on it. It don't even matter. I can have on flip-flops. I can have on some Jordan. It don't matter. You gonna get this smoke. So that's what's up.
Even the resilience, because I know I've been around people, even I would just say myself, if something happened like that in that moment, I'm about to be in full flame. My nephew could tell you, we went to Florida a couple weeks ago for a podcast, and I thought I was gonna miss my flight from Chicago to Florida, and I was in panic mode. So just the resilience of you saying like, hey, I want them, I got this ritual, these are my shoes, I need them to run, but look, you know what, I'm gonna run this race no matter what. That just shows like you are more than a conqueror. And we just need people like that nowadays. A lot of times, like, we get bent out of shape for the smallest things, but you were competing on such a high level and you did not have your shoes.
Right.
Like, I'm telling you, I probably would have, I would have needed that pep talk. I would have still got up and got the movement, but I would have been in complete like, wait a minute, my shoes. But yes, just congratulations. Have you ever seen her since that race?
No, I haven't seen her.
Hater. Call her hater. No, we ain't gonna do that. But hater. Oh, hater themselves.
And you said I still won. That's great.
I'm not a boastful person, but I was boasting that day.
I'll boast for you, hater. She still put you down.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us why you thought it was so important for you to tell your story.
Because didn't nobody know my story, They knew I was ran track. That's about it. They thought my adoptive parents was actually my biological parents, and they didn't know. So I actually told a little bit of my story when I got inducted into the last Hall of Fame. And I pretty much said it's time for me to tell my story now, because I get tired of people saying, well, I know Holli Hyche. Yeah, she ran for Indiana State and such, such, such. But you know me, but you really don't know my story. Mm-hmm. So that's why I started. Want to get it on out.
Well, thank you. I do just want to really share this with you. I know oftentimes we are faced with like adversity and we don't know which way to turn. And we're like, why me? I've seen it all the time where people will have kids and then put them up for adoption, and then they'll get married and have a whole nother set of kids, and their life is like almost as close to perfect. But for you, I would definitely say is that sometimes we don't know why God does things, and I'll say God does things a certain way, because that's just, I'm just a spiritual person, why he does things a certain way. Had not your mother at the time would have put you in, and I'm sorry, put you in that dumpster, and she would have kept you, and she didn't get her life together, your life may have turned out differently. So even though it wasn't ideal for you, I think that your parents' faith was so strong that they prayed for this baby girl, and that was their prayers being answered, because your life could have turned out in such a different way. So the resilience of your parents, and you, even though you were angry that the kids told you that you were adopted, your life seemed to turn out the way that it should have, not the way that it could have if you would have stayed with your biological mother.
Most definitely. It's definitely a blessing. I don't take nothing that I accomplished, nothing at all in life for granted. I give them the most highest honor, I'm sorry, besides God, of course, but that was my angels right there, and I know they still looking down. I'm in the midst of writing my book right now. It's called Running for My Life, and I'm dedicating it to them, because I got to get it done. Thank you.
Okay, I do have a question for you. When we were speaking yesterday, I brought up that I liked your locks. Mm-hmm. And I told you that my co-host used to have locks, and he decided for whatever reason to, to cut them or whatever. And I asked you how long had you been growing them, and you kind of shared a story with me. And just FYI, because our readers didn't know that you had a situation where you cut your locks off. And I actually, do you feel like you draw your strength from your locks? And Holli, guys, tells me I have my strength whether I have my locks or whether I don't have them. I'm always empowered. And I love that she said that. But do you just want to share with them what happened, why you had to cut your locks off? You can if you don't.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't have nothing to hide. I was actually coming up 38 West 38th, right there by the McDonald's, and I had just
Indianapolis.
Yeah, Indianapolis. And I had just got off the phone with, I think, my best friend or somebody, and they was like, be careful because they looking for somebody with dreads in a black Impala. And I had dreads and I had a black Impala. And so as I'm going up West 38th Street, it's like 5 policemen just coming up behind me. And so I pulled over, and next thing I know is a police on one side with his gun out, police on the other side. And they yanked me out the car thinking I was the guy that they was looking for. And the police pulled my ID out of my pocket and was like, "Oh, you're a woman. We're sorry. So they're just stereotyping black people because of locks and because most black people like Impalas, period, point blank. And I was like, from there, I'm that next day I went and got all my locks cut off.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. The only good thing that came out of that, I donated them to Locks of Love to.
I'm sorry. Can you go back? I'm sorry because your computer froze. We didn't hear you.
Which part?
The one right before you said they were stereotyping people because of their locks.
Yeah, I said so. After that, next day I went to the barbershop and got them cut off. I said the only good thing that came out of that is I donated my locks to the Locks of Love for the people with cancer.
Look at you. That's nice. I know a lot of times with Locks for Love, they take virgin hair. Like, no, it can't have but the hair color in it, or it can't be permanent. They just need natural. Yeah.
I don't do all that hair color and stuff. I don't do all that.
Well, good for you. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I brought that up because that was another there was adversity. Like, you had to jump over a hurdle because there was mistaken identity, and because of that, you had to cut your hair off. Because did you feel like there was any trauma behind that though?
Yeah, because a little bit. Because I'm just like, why are you stereotyping people because of the kind of car they have, what they look like, So kind of when I start growing them back out again, I'm like, I hope this don't happen again,
Right.
But I'm not in no Impala no more, so I ain't even
You got rid of that Impala?
Yeah, I got rid of that.
All right, we have a couple more questions. I'll let Amaru go before we ask.
As we, I think she froze up a little bit. What does the future hold for you? Because you talked about, and the reason you're sharing your story, right? And so, what does the future hold for you?
I'm gonna leave that in God's hands. I know what I want to do. I know what I've been praying for. So, like I said, I want to finish writing my book. I want to start talking professionally to kids, athletes, mothers, fathers. And I told my wife, I said, if I could just change one person's life, that's my goal, to let people see what I done been through. It's not, your life's not over just because you done went through a storm. God put you through storms so you can test his faith in you. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to keep it pushing. God got you. You gonna go through some stuff, but God got you.
I've been hearing that a whole lot lately.
But no, and it goes with our word of the day, which is perseverance. And so we'd like to share that real quick. And obviously your story is filled with perseverance. And its persistence is doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. Obviously, we want to do the Swahili interpretation, uvu valivu. And so your story is just filled with that, just rising above every challenge, even the girl hating on you, right? You rise above that challenge,
right?
And so this is remarkable because, again, you know, you started out on the whole other end of the spectrum, right? And coming out that situation to be, you know, at the highest of the highest, at the highest levels doing it. Right. And so I would love to give, you know, I'm glad we're giving you your flowers, but you know, this is just so cool. And so obviously want to give you a hand clap.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we want to also actually have a community event. Yes, and we have a community event annually each year where we give and donate back to kids. And so it would be ideally if you could come and talk with our kids about not just, you know, being an athlete, but also how important it is to get an education while you are being an athlete, because, you know, people have back issues sometimes, knee sprains, you know, broken bones, and after, you know, that's done, like, what's next? Where do I go from here? And we did not ask you. I really want to ask you to share. What did you get your degree in?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Recreation management and an English minor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we all speak proper English?
When I want to.
No, I was talking about being a co-host.
Yeah.
Is our English proper?
Yeah, y'all doing good. Y'all doing good.
I am so excited that you actually came onto our show. I just want to tell our viewers that Holli wants to be a motivational speaker. She's doing a lot of things now. If you are in any need or any way of wanting her to come out and speak to your youth, anyone that you're at the local universities or the high schools, the preschools, elementary school, please make sure that you reach out to her. She will tell you how you can get in contact with her moving forward. But again, it was definitely a pleasure having you on our show. If you have any additional remarks, you can go ahead and talk with the viewers about that. And then we enjoyed you. I love your story. I am excited. I'm going to be contacting you for those donations and also for you to pull up on us at the community event.
Oh yeah, I definitely will be there. Just keep me posted on it. If you guys want me to come, you can book me at my email, Holli Hyche, HOLLIHYCHE 41@gmail.com. I will get my number out, but I don't want nobody playing on my phone.
Oh, yeah, don't be doing that. Yeah, don't do that. You know how people crazy. So
I love you, cousin.
Holli, everybody keep texting me about you. They said, please, again, let them know how they can contact you, how they can follow you, and how they can reach you.
Again, Holli Hyche, HOLLIHYCHE 41@gmail.com. My name is Holli Hyche on Facebook and Hollywood Hyche on Instagram.
Hollywood. That's what I'm talking about. That's my nickname. I know that's right, Hollywood. We like to put a pin in it. Again, awesome story. We're proud of you, obviously. Your existence is inspiring, right? Some of the things you've accomplished at the highest levels. And so for people, you know, usually those people you can't even touch, right? You can't even meet everything. So for this platform to be able to not only be able to talk to you, but to be able to work with you in the future, to touch you and talk to you and just ask simple questions about the inspiration that you drew from is pretty cool. And so, especially for our viewers who have kids who are entering sports or just in life general, just not even put it in sport, just in life general. Right. Just talk about, you talked about how, you moved through the different challenges. And so I obviously, I'm excited. This is exciting for me. This is cool. I'll be bugging your page, right? So she gonna be like, "Duke it up on page," but I'm a fan. And so we want to give our flowers to our people who have achieved things at the highest levels. Again, I'm gonna keep saying ever. No, ever, EVA, ever. Nobody's ever done it. It's only 3 people ever. This is one of these people. So let's give her flowers. It was a pleasure meeting you. We love you. Anything you need us to do for you, we will do. Obviously,
I think one of them Howard hoodies you got on right there.
You had this one. I just watched it sitting on the way.
And I'm going to be a shameless plug. Me and Holli are going to get together for like coffee, tea, Starbucks, something. If you want to join us and you want autographs, you got to, she's going to give you the cash app. Just let us know.
I got one thing to say before we leave.
Pull up.
I have a baseball card and a track and field magazine that I'm on the cover of on eBay. So go grab your one.
See, y'all bring them to the team. She gonna autograph them for you. Gotta bring them. Let us know. We'll tell you what day and time it is.
But I got you. No, but seriously, we appreciate the time you spent with us today. We look forward to spending more time with you in the future. Obviously, when your book is written, come back on, talk about the book.
Yeah,
we'll share any details you got going on. And we just like to leave you with any closing remarks.
Just keep your head up. Keep God on your side 24/7, 365. And I thank you guys for letting me come on here. Thanks my family that's on here.
They pulled up.
I know. I love y'all. I love you guys. I love my wife. I know she's on here if she ain't sleep yet. Thank you for all your support, having my back, no matter good or bad, because I'm a handful. But I thank y'all though for having me. Just keep in touch with me when y'all want me to come speak or whatever, and I got you.
Oh, we meeting at Starbucks. We just gotta get on the calendar.
All right, I'm gonna drink a coffee or something because I don't drink no coffee or tea.
I like tea. I could do either way. They have cocoa.
No, I don't eat chocolate. Drink chocolate and nothing.
Let me update our viewers too. So we won't be in 2 weeks because All-Star Weekend is to be in Indianapolis, and so we got some other stuff going on. I'll probably share that too. But 2024 is the Mamba year, right? And so our year is we're elevating to another level. And so we're going to have some dynamic guests just like Holli on. Just stay tuned. We just working through some things. We're going to another level with this. And so we would love to work with anybody who's making change in their city, right? Or who's done dynamic things such as Holli. And so this podcast was started particularly on relationship stuff, but we see that we had to broaden our scope, right? So we wanted to allow our guests to tell their stories and share stories like this because we're just not one thing. We're a bunch of things. And I think too many times our people have been pigeon-toed to just be one thing or two things. And just to hear stories like yourself, there's millions of stories like yourselves, right? That's throughout our people. We just don't have access to them. And so for us to have access to you, it is wonderful. And so I will leave this with our people. We are Black excellence. We are Black excellence. And so we're just not a month. Holli is, I'm sure you're older than me. We're not going to get your age out, right?
But I don't care. I'm 52. I don't care.
So she's been in this space. Black excellence has been here, right? And so, again, we are excellent. We are wonderful. We are everything. And with that, I will close.
All right, guys. So I'm going to close out. I want to tell everybody thank you again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Holli, for coming on. It is important that we all make sure that we're telling our family members, our friends, and our loved ones that we love them all of the time. We don't know the time or the hour, so it's important to make sure that you wrap your arms around your family. And if you're mad at someone, get over it. Forgiveness is the best form of healing. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Love everybody. Bye.
Love y'all.
Bye.